Hi guys, welcome to my little slice of heaven, you guys, my happy place. In my new paint room, which I'm still working on and I haven't painted in, I have fallen down the rabbit hole into plaster art right now. I'll try to show you some of my pieces, but right now let's just paint just for fun. So we're going to paint a hexagonal tile and we're going to use black onyx as our base. This is the Walmart black onyx. It's incredibly thick. So I thin it with a little bit of water until it is more of a consistency that we can work with. I've never used black onyx on a wall. I've always just used it in an art project, and I have no idea how anybody would ever be able to put this stuff on a wall. It is so thick. All right, a quick torch. So I'm going to try to do something a little bit different tonight. My paint colors, except two, are all chalk paint. So this one is kind of a camel color. It's a little bit thick. I'm going to give it a little spritz of water. This is a camel color. So these are all the colors that I chose to paint my various plaster pieces. I've done a couple of vases. All of which I don't mind showing you. So let's start. So I used to use chalk paint all the time. I started painting furniture was how I got into acrylic painting. So I'm no stranger to chalk paint, and I have actually used it in acrylic pours, and it works just fine. It gives things a little bit of a different look, but it's still a look and it still works. So this was cream. It's called Milk Jug. And I put a little dash of Jacquard Phthalo turquoise in it just to give it a bit more color. Okay, this is my favorite piggy, you guys. This is Brulee. It looks a bit thick too, but we're going to just use it anyway. So this is an interference copper. If you're not familiar with it, it is absolutely beautiful, beautiful color. And definitely my favorite. Okay, on top of all that, we're going to put Jacquard Interference Violet. And then, this is Decor White Satin Enamel. So we're going for a little bit of a different, maybe a different look. I don't know. We'll have to see. And then we're going to top all of that off with this chalk paint color. And I can't remember the color, but I think it's called Fawn. And what are we going to do? Are we going to swipe? I guess we are, since I kind of set myself up for swiping here. All right. So yeah, I get really easily bored, you guys, and I don't stay in one medium for a really long time, and then I move on. Acrylic pouring has been probably the one medium that I have played with for the longest period of time, and that's kept me entertained for about 2 years. But I'm kind of getting that itchy feet to do some different things. So plaster art is proving to be super, super interesting. All right, we're just going to swipe this. Same as always. I, as always, probably have bit off a project that is way above my skill level, which is something that I tend to do. So if you are venturing into a new project like that, I would, number one, consider doing your research, because there's a million different types of plaster, just as there's a million different types of acrylic pouring, and just kind of get real comfy with it, because I did the same thing I did with acrylic pouring. When I started, I was going to like be a bloom queen. And of course I knew nothing about blooms and the amount of time it takes to kind of get into the blooms. And then I jumped from there to something else. And so I've done the same thing with plaster. I'm all over the map. I have used plaster. I've used drywall. I have used drywall in my plaster. I've used white glue in my plaster. And I'm just kind of starting to get now to where I'm happy with things. All right. So at this point, composition is 0 for me. So let's add let's break some things up before we get too busy here. With some little lines. And then I don't think we're going to spin. I don't know what we're going to do. I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants. We're going to go in here and break this one up a little bit too, I think. All right. That's fun. I just read The Cat in the Hat, so my my mind is going off on all sorts of strange endeavors. All right, let's just do some manual tipping and tilting and stretching here. And I'm probably not going to modify this. I'm probably just going to leave this well enough alone. We got to take a little bit more paint off. So we're just going to help that out a tiny wee bit. So you guys can't see brulee on camera, I already know that, but underneath all of this beautiful taupey tan color is the brulee, and there's quite a swatch in here mixed with the interference violet, and then these cells here are all brulee as well. So the rest of this, we're just going to move slowly. And stretch things out a little bit. So this is going to change because we do have white satin enamel in it. And we all know that white satin enamel kind of continues to develop and grow for a period of time after we pour. And it changes things. I poured a piece last night with pinks and grays and satin enamel. It was really quite pretty. I don't even know where it's gone, or I could show you. Okay, we're going to take that off there, and then we're going to stretch this way back down. I'm trying not to lose that funny little beige spot. All right, you guys. That would be that. All right, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to first... What am I going to do? First, I'm going to wipe my hands because I don't want to get covered in paint. And maybe I will show you. I don't know what to do. I know as soon as I click my camera off, then I'm going to lose the lighting. And then when I go to try to show you everything else, it's going to be dark and weird. I know that's what's going to happen. All right, give me a sec, guys. All right, I'm going to put you on hold, and I'm going to try not to lose you. Okay, here we are from above where we were. Impossible to show you without my light. So I'm going to try to take off the camera light, and hopefully it's not too dark. Oh no, that's not too bad. But that way we can zoom in. We can see this glaring light above. What happens if I move? Trip everybody right out. All right, so much better from that angle. So you can see where the white satin enamel is kind of getting that cloudy look. And this band of pink that you can see, that's interference violet. And there's our fun little embellishment there. There's the brulee. Really hard to see without my camera light in the way. All right, so I'm going to show you guys my textured piece. Okay, there it is. Here it is. See if I can get back far enough. There is my third textured piece, you guys. I know it's really dark and it's really hard to see. I don't know if it was a labor of love or just an overly ambitious endeavor. So a lot of these creases that you are seeing are about 1/2 inch thick. Yeah, it took me a really long time. This is all plaster of Paris work, not drywall mud. A little bit challenging to learn how to work with. It sets and cures really fast. Oh, this is so incredibly dark. Okay, I'm gonna put you on hold again. All right, so now we're back in my kitchen, which is like just a work in progress, the whole thing. So these 2 vases that you can see right here were roadside rescues. They were free on the side of the road. So I've come home, I've painted them with just chalk paint. And then this white one, I literally just smooshed it all with plaster of Paris and I just ran my fingers around it and created some really funky, cool textures. So I'm gonna paint it and try to give it more of a vintage look. But that was just a really, really easy one. This one was even easier. This was just basically touching it with my hands. Then I jumped into a more ambitious project, which is exactly what I would normally do. So here's my next labor of love. So this white flower is one of 6. It's quite large, as you can see. It's about 6 inches across. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos and Instagram and stuff like that where people have painted these flowers, silk flowers, with plaster, and then they've arranged them. So these ones are not silk. These ones were foam. And this is my first one. So at this point, it's setting quite nicely, and they're all going to go on a big background, which I'm sort of trying to figure out at this point exactly how I'm going to paint. But that's it, you guys. That's all my creative endeavors for the last couple of days. Sorry for taking you through a jaunt through my entire house. But that's what I have to do because I have stuff everywhere. All right, my friends. Pour happy, stay safe. We'll talk really, really soon. Bye, guys.